Let us start. This is the question paper, this year question paper. This is how the paper looks like. Welcome, Pankaj. Am I audible to you? You can see here Civil Services Main Exam 2023. Now this is how instructions will be given. Question paper specific instructions will be given to you. Please read each of the following instructions carefully before attempting question. So here you should be just have some idea that what are the instructions. These are common instructions. Just if you see now, next year also it is going to be the same one. Welcome, Harmeet. Am I audible to you? There are 8 questions divided in 2 sections and printed both in Hindi and English. Candidate has to attempt 5 questions in all. Now you have to see this particular question number 1 and 5 are compulsory, and out of the remaining 3 are to be attempted, choosing at least 1 question from each section. So what does it mean? Here section A and section B, 2 sections are there. Section A and section B. Now when it comes to section A and B, here 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 questions are given. In section B, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it is saying that question number 1 and 5 are compulsory. You have to definitely write question 1 and 5. You cannot miss it. This is first instruction. Next one, 3 are to be attempted, choosing at least 1 question from each section. Now remaining total you have to write 5. And out of 5, already 2 questions are compulsory. Now you have to write 3 more. Suppose if you are comfortable in 6, 7 and 8. Suppose if you are comfortable in medieval India. Let us assume. But you cannot choose all the 3 questions from medieval India. That is the second instruction. At least 1 here, at least 1. You have to select. The 5th question is your choice. Either you can choose from here or here. So literally, what does it mean? Here, another 1 question minimum, another 1 question minimum, so that 1, 2, 3, 4, and out of remaining, you can choose 1. That means either you choose 3 or 2. If you select 2 here, you are going to select 3. If you select 3 here, you have to select 2. So this is how UPSC is making every student read properly ancient India also, medieval India also. We cannot skip the portion. So that is the importance of this instruction. So this is what, be careful. So the instruction is, you should be very careful and you should be very thorough in both ancient part as well as medieval part. And when it comes to paper 1, this one is map pointing. And map is compulsory. You cannot do anything. You are supposed to attempt this question. And when it comes to 5th one, in 5th one, in 6, 7, 8, now each and every question is for 50 mark. Second is also for 50 mark, third is also for 50, fourth is also for 50. In 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, you will have 3 sub-questions. 3, A, B, C likewise. But when it comes to 5th, this is map pointing, 20 questions. And when it comes to 5th one, A, B, C, D, E. So total 5 into 10 marks each, that is 50 marks. And this also is, 5th is compulsory, A, B, C, D. Now from early medieval to till 18th century, these questions are distributed. You cannot miss certain portions. So this is how UPSC is giving instructions so that every student is supposed to read each and every portion properly. So that is what you have to very, very carefully understand. Questions are in such a way they design that from almost each and every syllabus of our UPSC questions will appear. Now come to the question paper, real question paper. The number of marks carried by question paper indicated against it, answer must be written in the medium authorized in the admission certificate, and this question cum answer booklet. Question will be given and some space will be given. You have to write only in that space. 10 mark means 1.5 page, 15 mark 2 page, and 20 mark 3 pages. You have to fill the space. You cannot write extra also, but you have to follow very, very carefully. Now come to the question number 1. Section A. Now it is section A. This we have already discussed, and video is also available in YouTube. Please go and refer it. I have discussed in detail all the sites, 20 sites. This is the first question. Now come to the second question. This is how it looks. To A. Now you see, second question, A, B, C. 3 subparts are there. Once you select second one, you have to write all A, B, C. You cannot write A, you cannot write B alone, and you cannot leave C. Once you select second question, that means all 3 parts, because it is for 50 mark. First question is 20 marker, second 15 marker, third one is 15 marker. You be careful in analyzing this. 20, 15, 15, 15, 15, 30 plus 20, 50 mark. Once you are attempting second question means you are attempting all the 50 marks. That is why, suppose if you are not comfortable in first question, you cannot select that question, because you are supposed to write all the 3 parts. If you are not comfortable in second question all, then you are going for third question. If you are not comfortable here, then you have to go for fourth one. So this is how. Now when it comes to the fifth question, 5 questions will be given here. Now you can see A, B, C, D, and E. All the questions are compulsory. You cannot miss any question. And all these 5 questions are distributed in the medieval part from early medieval to till 18th century. That is why be very, very careful in preparation itself. Now come to the answers. One by one we will go. This is the second one. Now you see, and you will observe that syllabus wise you will find the questions. First one is map. Most of the questions from prehistoric period, Stone Age. Almost 50% of the questions come from that Stone Age part. Second one, now you see 2A. One question is coming from Neolithic age itself. So Neolithic related questions can be asked in map also likewise. That is why I always say that if you are very strong in map pointing, this kind of question is going to be very, very easy, because you are going to give so much evidence when it comes to this. And it is 20 marker question. And you can make map properly and you identify important Neolithic sites. And yesterday only we have discussed Neolithic sites, and you can mention some of these Neolithic sites according to the question. Now what is the question? The Neolithic age represents a revolution due to significant changes that took place during this period examined. So this is the question. It is asking about Neolithic age. And in the last map classes also I was explaining that in Paleolithic it is hunting and gathering. In Mesolithic, transition period. In Neolithic, completely the lifestyle has changed. Lifestyle changed means completely from hunting gathering stage to agriculture practice. Once agriculture comes, then village setup will come. Once village setup will come means society will come, religious beliefs will come. All of them you are going to write one by one. I will show you the model answer also. These model answers completely for both paper 1 and paper 2. I have prepared the model answers. So please, if you want, you get the copy from the office. Paper 1 solutions. For map, separate PDF is there, and this is for rest of the questions. Now you see this. The Neolithic age represents a revolution due to significant changes that took place during this period. Now this is the structure of the question. Introduction, you will write the importance of Neolithic, and body. Neolithic age represents a revolution due to the following significant changes. So the body is all about what are the changes in Neolithic and why it is called a revolutionary. Then you will give the conclusion. So introduction, you will write who has coined the term. V. Gordon Childe. He was the scholar who mentioned the changes in Neolithic period is a revolutionary in nature. So you are going to mention V. Gordon Childe term the coin. Now when it comes to the different changes, just you see the headings. Just by observing the headings itself, you will come to know that what is the answer. Because once you know the subheadings, writing 2-3 lines is very easy. It is all about answer writing is all about how to think about multiple dimensions. The more you think about dimensions, the better and easier it becomes to write the answers. And this is where knowledge, while reading, you will get a lot of knowledge. Most of you might have read Neolithic, but when it comes to answer writing, you may feel very difficult. That is why you require daily answer writing practice. Then only you will master this, how to develop so many dimensions according to the question. Now I will read the subheadings. You will come to know the agricultural practices. This is how. Now in agricultural practices, in some places rice was there, barley was there, ragi, and depending on different locations, just you are going to mention that agricultural practices. Next, animal domestication. Neolithic people domesticated animals like goat, sheep, cattle, different domestication. Then first village setup. Mehergarh is the first village where 7000 BC, in 7000 BC itself, agriculture practice started. So this is how you can mention first village settlements. You can mention the examples also. Then artisan activities. Agriculture was there. Then industrial activities. In Neolithic phase itself, we are going to see. Then once artisan activities are there, trading activities will come. Then trading and social organizations will come. Trade network and exchanges, technological advancements we have seen in Paleolithic, crude tools, Mesolithic, micro tools. When it comes to Neolithic, polished stone tools. Technological tools, wheel was used, polished tools, pottery was used, and cultural and religious developments also. Now you see this, almost whatever we are studying, our society, you have paper 1 also. In paper 1, society is there. Now, if question comes, what are the characteristics of present day Indian society? Almost the subheadings are going to be like this. This is why Neolithic is a revolutionary period. That means the modern day of lifestyle, Neolithic people began long ago. That is why this is revolutionary in nature. Just you give different subheadings, different 2-3 examples you can give. And distribution, when it comes to distribution, you give different examples in different parts. You can use the map also, you can draw map also, you can show different Neolithic settlements in India. So this is how, in conclusion, this Neolithic revolution laid the foundation for first urbanization, that is Indus Valley civilization. That is what you are going to mention. So this is how you are going to handle this particular question. This is the first question. All of you understood? Shabaridasan, Harmeet, Sanju, Dinesh, all of you. Any doubts you have? Just you read the question. Neolithic Revolution. Once Neolithic Revolution means in introduction who coined it. In conclusion, this revolution led to what stage of development later, and in body, just what are the characteristics. All of you? Yes, very good. Second one. The Indus Saraswati cultural zone exhibited both homogeneity and diversity. Discuss. So what does it? Now you see how syllabus-wise questions are coming. First one prehistoric period came, and in our syllabus, next Indus Valley civilization will come. And the second 2B is about Indus Valley civilization. Indus Saraswati cultural zone, nothing but Indus Valley civilization. There are different names for Indus Valley civilization. One is Harappan civilization. Second one is Indus Valley civilization. Third one, the Indus Saraswati cultural zone. Sir, can we write in paragraph or points? You can use both format. UPSC has never said any specific format. Wherever bullet points are required, you can use the bullet points. Wherever you feel, if you write in paragraph, if you convey more better meaning, then you can use the paragraphs. There is no specific instruction related to the point-wise or paragraph-wise. It all depends on the question nature also. It all depends on how you want to present also. Both are, suppose if you are comfortable in point-wise, you give 1, 2, 3 like that. If you are very much comfortable in paragraph, you use paragraphs, because paragraph requires proper grammatical sentences. That is why some students are not that comfortable in paragraph format. Those students can go for point, small points you can write. But anyway, content is same only. It all matters about the content points. Okay? What are the dimensions you are going to mention? Is it all right? Meluhan. Meluhan is the name. Yeah, very good. You are talking about Indus Valley civilization. Different names. Very good, Dinesh. Indus Valley civilization, Harappan civilization, Indus Saraswati, Meluha, the name given by the Mesopotamian civilization. So likewise, it is about Indus Valley civilization exhibited both homogeneity and diversity. What does it mean? Simple meaning. There are so many Indus Valley sites. Thousands of sites were discovered since the beginning of Harappan civilization. But in all these sites, there are certain common characteristics, there are certain differences. But still we call everything as Indus Valley civilization. But not each and every site like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhudaro, Dholavira, Rahigarki, there are certain common traits, but there are differences also among these settlements. That is what question is asking about. What are the commonalities? What are the differences? Simple. So structure is, you will write about Indus Valley civilization, then the extent of the Indus Valley civilization, how big the Indus Valley civilization is, and in such a big civilization, having commonalities is a great thing. But as it is very big, every part, every characteristic cannot be similar one. Diversity is also expected. For example, today India is a huge country. There are some unified elements, and there are diverse elements also. And this is the best characteristic of Indian civilization. What we are calling today also, when you are writing about paper 1 society, one of the first characteristics we write about Indian society is unity in diversity. So the name itself is saying unity in diversity. We have certain common elements also across Indian subcontinent, and we have different diverse elements also. Same applies to Indus Valley civilization also. Not every part, even though we write about town planning, common features, but there are certain differences. Question is asked about that unity in diversity. And you will write about introduction, the importance of Indus Valley Civilization. Very good. Unity in diversity. Now, homogeneity. Two parts. First is homogeneity. Second one is diverse elements. When it comes to homogeneity, in Indus Valley Civilization, so this is what Indus Valley Civilization flourished in this zone. Now we have so many settlements: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Chanhudaro, Dholavira, Lodal, Kalibangan, Raki Garhi, Banwali, likewise. One of the best characteristic is town planning. In many places, this town planning feature is almost striking similarity. And that is the one of the greatness of Indus Valley Civilization. Because such a large civilization maintaining similar town planning is extraordinary feat. We are talking about 2000 years ago. Mature Harappan phase is 2600 to 1900 BC. So around 3000 years ago, talking about common town planning is a great feat. That is what you will mention. Urban planning, commonality, standardized bricks, and brick size also, whether it is Harappa, Dholavira, Raki Garhi, in different places, it is standardized brick. That is another striking similarity. That is the one. Next, script. Script is another striking feature. In different parts, almost similar type of script was available. That is similarity. Then weights and measures, different type of terracotta images, mother goddess image everywhere, similar type. Unicorn seal, unicorn, you will find different. Mother goddess are the different. Now when it comes to diversity, what are the diverse elements? When it comes to diversity, it is not always every area is having the similar town planning, and there are certain differences also within the planning. And when it comes to roads also, in certain places straight roads, in certain places roads are not straight. So that difference, you are going to highlight it. Different differences. Local material. When it comes to the raw material, in certain areas, for example, in Afghanistan area, lapis lazuli is very common. You will have a different type of raw material. In Chanhudaro, a different type of raw material you will find. So depending on the raw material, bead industry flourished, and these beads are different in different places according to the availability of raw material. That is one you are going to write. Then housing pattern also. Most of the places, mud bricks, burnt mud bricks. But in all the places, they are not used. Mud bricks were used in certain cases, wattle and daub structures also used, differences. Now building towns, regional variations in pottery also. Common pottery is black on red ware, but in different regions, different type of pottery was available. Dietary practices, in certain places, vegetarian, rice or wheat. In the northwestern part of India, wheat, the barley, they were the use. And when it comes to coastal area, fish was an important dietary practice. Again, differences. Same differences today also we see. In eastern part, certain food habit, in western part, certain food habits. In central India, certain food. In northern and southern, different food habits. That is diversity. Economic activities, in certain places agriculture dominated, in certain cases industries dominated, in certain cases trade dominated. In coastal area, trade practices were more dependent, and in interiors, agriculture was more there. Rice seen in Lodal is unique. Other IVC side, yes, very good example. So that is one difference. Some cities IVC 3-layered settlement, some has 2-layer. So citadel, lower upper layer and lower city. Upper city, lower city, 2 layers. Dholavira contains 3 parts. upper part, middle part, lower part. So this is best example. Ports, fire altar. So you can have n number of examples. So once you get the structure, then your brain automatically thinks about so many examples. Likewise, you just keep thinking. So main point here is how to structure your answer. While you read books, you will get lot of points. But when you see the question, the striking point should be how to structure your answer. Once you know two parts are there, first part is about unity, second part is about diversity. Then whatever you remember, you can write. Still, because it is 15 marker question and you will be given limited space, you cannot have infinite space. That is why you have to limit yourself in that particular space. Or most important points, whatever you remember, just you write it down. Second question, all of you clear? Sumit, Abhi, Dinesh, Sanju, Shabaradashan, all of you clear? So this is about second. So just I am trying to develop the skill of how to frame the answer. So once you know the structure, automatically points you will able to remember. Third question, how do the comparative study of languages, archaeological sources, and vast corpus of Vedic literature help to determine the Aryan problem in Indian history? Discuss. Now you see the third part. In syllabus we have the prehistoric period, Indus Valley civilization, next Aryans. Now third question is about Aryans. Now you see, if you want to attempt the second question, you have to know about prehistory, Neolithic stage also, Stone Age. So this is why I always say that you cannot miss certain portions. Now you want to attempt the second question. Now you are supposed to write one question on Neolithic. That is prehistoric. So you should be very much comfortable in prehistory, Neolithic, another one Indus Valley civilization, another one is Vedic. So if you want to attempt the second question, you have to be thorough on Vedic period also, Indus Valley also, Neolithic also. Most of the students are comfortable in IVC and Vedic. But when it comes to prehistory, students are not comfortable because this point, map. This prehistory is linked with map marking. Those who are very strong in map, for them, this question is also very easy. They can give so many dimensions also, so many examples, so many evidences they can give. And in fact, if you are strong in map, you can give evidence here also, you can give evidence here also. Now, in fact, this question is about this one. Archaeological evidences means you have to talk about the different regions related to Vedic civilization. Are you getting how important it is? You cannot miss. Once you want to write this second question, then you have to write one question on Neolithic, IVC, Vedic. All three chapters you have to be very strong. That is why don't leave any chapter. Every chapter be thorough. All right. Now, how do the comparative study of languages, then archaeological sources, and vast corpus of Vedic literature? So it is talking about archaeological sources and vast corpus of Vedic literature. In simple terms, our first syllabus, our first chapter is sources. And when it comes to sources, for any type of chapter, whether it is IVC, Vedic or Mahajanapadas, we have two types of sources. One is literary sources, second one is archaeological sources. And when it comes to IVC, we don't have literary sources because script was there, but we are not able to decipher. That's why in our case, when it comes to IVC, we have to depend on archaeological. When it comes to prehistory, Neolithic, Paleolithic, we don't have any other except archaeology. But when it comes to Vedic, we have literary source, that is Vedas and Vedic associated. And archaeological evidence is also important. Now, because of there are so many debates with respect to Vedic period. Who are the Aryans? Whether they are indigenously populated. Vedic people is early Vedic people. Settlement is in this region, early Vedic people. And later Vedic people, this one, later Vedic period. This is the geography of early Vedic. This is the geography of later Vedic period. Now, in these two locations, whatever we know about these Vedic people, whatever information we are talking, whatever we know about their society, their economy, their technology, everything is from Vedic sources. But whatever Vedic sources they are saying, how do we know that that is true or false? And this is where it's all about the debates emerged. And another part is these Vedic people, different interpretation, like some scholars say they are indigenously, they are the Indians, nothing but these IVC people, they became Aryans. And second one is they came from Central Asia. This is the debate. Now this question is asking about this problem we can solve only by analyzing the comparative languages. That means here they used Sanskrit, and when it comes to this Iran, Avesta, once book was there, Iranian old script like Rig Veda. When it comes to Iranian language, Avesta is the one, Persian language, and Europeans. There are some kind of commonalities among all these Sanskrit, Iranian language, and Europe. Based on comparison, we get some kind of clues whether who are these people, whether they are Indians or came somewhere from steppes. That is one. Second one is the literature. Third one is archaeological evidence. The question is asking about, based on all these things, we can have some idea about Vedic people, so Aryan people. How do the comparative study of languages, archaeological sources, and vast corpus of Vedic literature help to determine the Aryan problem in Indian history? Simply, you have to talk about what we know about Aryans from these different sources. So comparative study of languages, first part, archaeological sources, second part, and Vedic literature, third part. So you mention about the importance of Aryan problem, then comparative study of languages like migration, Sanskrit, Latin, Greek, and other languages. You have to write about Avesta and Rig Veda has some commonalities. Again, that shows some kind of connection between Iranian people and Vedic people. So that information we get by comparing these two languages. Next one. So the first part you talk about that particular language comparison. Next one, archaeological sources. Excavations conducted in Punjab, Uttar Pradesh. In this particular part, northern Rajasthan, we have different type of pottery called, any one of you, the pottery associated with, any one of you can tell the pottery associated with Vedic people. While discussing about graveware, very good. PGW. Yes, Sanju? PGW, painted graveware settlements. PGW. This is the pottery associated with Vedic people. So you talk about in which locations we got this type of pottery. Then you mention about this. Depending on it, that kind of pottery, that timeline, you will be able to identify from this period to this period, there were certain settlements, and these settlements, whatever they are, settlements are there, whatever Vedic texts are explaining, some matching is taking place. That means these are the Aryan people. Next one, you talk about literary sources, Vedic literature. After the class, will you provide PDF of the answers. Abhi, this is model answers. You please consult the office because office will provide you. So you consult the office after the class, okay? Vedic literature now. You talk about description of different landscape, rivers, whatever we know, from where these early Vedic people were settling. How do we know that the early Vedic people, how do we know what is the reference that early Vedic, I have given here, in this location early Vedic people were there, I am saying in this location early Vedic people were there. How do I know, or how do historians know? That is the Rigvedic people. Rigveda text mentioned about different rivers, and those rivers are located in this location. And what conclusion we can make out of it? That means Rigvedic people were living in this geographic location. And when it comes to later Vedic text, they are mentioning about these places. That is why we know that later Vedic people were living in this geographic location. So based on all these things, that archaeological evidence, pottery is giving certain time period, language comparison is giving certain evidences. Based on all these, we are able to conclude that somewhere from Central Asian steppes, Aryan people migrated, different branches migrated to different places. One branch came to India also. And within India, these are the main settlements. So this is how you have to write about Vedic. In simple terms, just you write about the different sources to know about who are Aryans and how it is. Sapta Sindhu, very good. So Sapta Sindhu, we know that evidence is from Rig Veda. Is it clear? Third one. Next one. Now come to the third question. 3A. This, how far? Let me go to question paper. So that this I have said. First question, Neolithic, you cannot skip. Once you have selected, second question means one prehistoric, you have to write. Indus, you have to write. And Vedic, you have to write. Suppose if you are not comfortable in prehistory or some other, in Vedic, suppose by seeing all these things, if you are not comfortable, then you are going for third question. Now you see the third question, how the combination. Now in third question also you will find this critical combination. That is why each and every chapter is important. Now third question you see, how far Sangam literature acts as a window into the social and cultural traditions of ancient South India. So the one question is about South India. Now suppose if I write the third question. Now one question, it is talking about South India, Sangam literature. Now come to the second one. Analyze the contours of imperial ideology as exhibited during the Mauryan period. Now it is talking about Mauryan period. So if you want to attempt this question, you have to be thorough with Mauryan Empire also, you have to be thorough with South Indian history also. And third question, evaluate the status of women in the Gupta period as compared to pre-Gupta era. Now this almost like entire ancient history. It's about comparison between Gupta period and pre-Gupta. Now pre-Gupta means Vedic period, at least from Vedic period we have to write. So that question is, we have to compare the condition of women before pre-Gupta and during Gupta time period. Now almost entire ancient India. You cannot escape. So this is how questions UPSC very cleverly manage in a single question, so that it is indirectly encouraging the students to read each and every chapter. You cannot miss some particular chapters. So be thorough with each and every chapter. If you have any doubts, you consult me, you will get the doubts clarified. So be careful when it comes to the selecting the questions. As I said, in second question, different combination, and third question, different combination. Now come to the first question. How far Sangam literature act as window into social and cultural traditions of ancient South India? Simply it is asking Sangam age society, Sangam age cultural traditions. So in this part, Sangam 300 BC to 300 AD. So it is asking about during this time period, in this geographical location, what is society and what is culture. And how do we know about this geographical location in this period? We know from Sangam literature. So see, question is straightforward. Only you have to be very thorough with this, because it is one of the very straightforward questions. No confusion also. And while you are reading also, you will read about Sangam society, Sangam culture based on Sangam literature. And when it comes to the question, you see in body you have only direct one question, that how Sangam literature serves as a window into social and cultural traditions. So you write about different Sangam literature, then you talk about how different geographical locations divided, how the society was divided into here ecological zones. Ecological zone is the important category of social division. Hilly region, pastoral, agriculture, coastal, desert, likewise. Now you write about the Aham and Puram. Two type of literature was there. They mainly talk about love and war. So you write about the love relationship, warfare and politics, then agriculture life, trade and economy. You are going to mention about different industrial, different ports also during that time period, different items of trade. So it is straightforward question, nothing to fear at all. Just you give the life of Sangam people. Whatever we know about Sangam age, that is from Sangam literature only. If you read R.S. Sharma also, if you read any other book also, straightforward question, just you mention one by one. Third question, analyze the contours of imperial ideology as exhibited during Mauryan period. So this is also indirectly very easy question, but the terminology appears very big. It is asking imperial ideology. Indirectly, the nature of the state. What kind of principles Mauryan period followed? In simple terms, if you convert that particular phrase into simple meaning, what kind of policy the Mauryans followed in their administration. Now you see this, you will write about importance of Mauryan. Now centralization of the power. One of the hallmark of Mauryans is centralization of the power. So almost entire Indian subcontinent came under Mauryans, and Mauryans maintained centralized administration. So you will write 1 point there. And second one, how was the judicial system? What kind of judicial system they followed? Military strength, spies, surveillance, bureaucratic state, each and every economic control. It is one of the different departments for different economic activities. Nowhere in our ancient past this kind of administration was maintained. And we are talking about 3rd century BCE. In 3rd century BCE, controlling these many economic activities with such a bureaucratic, vast bureaucracy is one of the great achievements of Mauryans. So economic control, that is the imperial ideology. That is what the ideology of the Mauryans. Dharma as state policy. When it comes to Ashoka, Ashoka followed Dhamma, so that all kind of religion, all kind of sects, they live peacefully in his empire. That is the state policy. Erect pillars to address people, to give instructions to people. Very good. So that is what the Ashoka's policy. Welfare state, they Mauryans wanted welfare principles towards the people. And you give different examples: tolerance and coexistence, public communication, the transportation system. So it is all like the nature of the Mauryan Empire. Conclusion, you will write about, you can give introduction and conclusion, very simple, plain terms also. You need not to worry. Give the importance of Mauryan Empire in introduction. In conclusion, imperial ideology was marked by blend of strong administrative control, welfare measures, the summing up of all the characters. That is the one. Next, evaluate the status of women in Gupta period as compared to pre-Gupta era. Question appears, the time period is very big. Pre-Gupta means since Vedic time period, you have to talk about the conditions of women. But if you organize, it becomes very easy. Suppose you see this: education and intellectual stream. Pre-Gupta means you go to Vedic times. In early Vedic time period, the women also participated in Vedic hymns. So you write that example. When it comes to Gupta era, the education was limited to women. So that is what you take one dimension by dimension. Then before Gupta, how was the more liberal one in Vedic time period till Gupta time period? That liberality will come down. By Gupta time period, more restrictions will emerge. And social status and rights. So just before Gupta, in simple terms, liberal in the first part, rigid in the second part. Third one, next dimension is about religious participation. And in Vedic time period, women were participating, and when it comes to Gupta, so little bit reduced. And economic rights also. When it comes to Gupta era, Stridhana concept became one of the hallmark. During marriage time, they were given some kind of property. So now, you just sum up of all the dimensions. So this is how you can sum up the dimensions. Now you see the fourth question. Now once again, let us see in fourth question how UPSC managed. Once you select fourth question, you are supposed to write all three. Analyze the tenets, spread and impact of Bhakti movement. And Bhakti movement means 7th century AD, Alvars and Nainars. Bhakti movement during Pallava time period and after Pallava time period, in simple terms, early medieval. There is one question. Now you see, early medieval also is coming. You cannot escape. How far temple architecture under Chola became more refined and grandiose as compared to the early South Indian temple architecture styles. So, talking about again early medieval Chola temple architecture. You observe this: Bhakti, temple, art and culture related. Next, is it correct to say that post-Gupta period was remarkable for the expansion of religious cults in India? So post-Gupta nothing but early medieval and religious cults. And you can observe this fourth question is about art and culture. So are you getting how questions are coming? Now if you want to attempt to touch fourth question, you should be comfortable in art and culture. And this art and culture also from early medieval. Now unless you are comfortable here, you cannot write fourth question, you cannot choose the fourth question. And if you may be comfortable in Alvar, Nainar, Bhakti, but you have to talk about these also. So that is why now each and every syllabus, whatever UPSC mentioned, be thorough with each and every segment. Otherwise, you will be writing A, B, but C is going to be difficult one. Or B and C you may be comfortable, but A creates the trouble. And once it creates trouble, you will get good marks in 2 parts. In third question, marks will reduce. Vast, more taxes, Brahmavadan, yes, very good. Now you see, observe this question. So in 4th question, today we will discuss about ancient part. Next day we will discuss about medieval part. So today we will finish up to ancient part. Now you see this. Analyze, question are, now you see this. It appears art and culture part is very difficult, but if you see the question, it is very straightforward. Analyze the tenets, spread and impact of Bhakti movement. Simply it is asking what are the principles of Bhakti movement and different spread in different geographic locations, how far it is spread, and impact of Bhakti movement, consequences. So 1, 2, 3, tenets, spread and impact. So simple. Once you divide the question into 3 parts, then you will get different points. Tenets, devotion over rituals, not for rituals, but devotion. Equality, personal God, use of vernacular language. Sanskrit, earlier Sanskrit was the language where Vedic rituals were practiced. But now in Bhakti movement, common language was used by the saints. Now spread, in South India you will give examples, in North India you will give examples, in Western India likewise you can give different geographic location, different Bhakti saints. Now impact, social impact like equality, liberty, fraternity, the French Revolution ideals you can use here also. Indirectly Bhakti saints were promoting equality among all. Liberal society they were expecting, because society was caste ridden, jati ridden. And when it comes to temples also, lower sections of people were not allowed in the temples. God was distanced from the lower sections. When it comes to Bhakti saints, they wanted to bring devotion close to the common people. That is the social impact. Religious impact also. When it comes to religious impact, religious evils they tried to remove. Cultural impact, because of this, they have written so many regional language literatures. Regional language literature improved during Bhakti time period. You write that example. Then political impact also. Even the political system also, because of Bhakti movement, more liberal approach were followed towards the people. Likewise, you can have this one. Conclusion, just summing up of all of it. Next question. How far temple architecture under Cholas became more refined, grandiose as compared to the early South Indian temple architecture styles? When it comes to South Indian architecture styles, during Pallava time period, it is talking about South Indian architecture styles. Here, earlier Pallavas, during Gupta time period, temple architecture started in North India. And during Pallava time period, Dravidian architecture started. They laid the foundation for Dravidian architecture. In comparison with Pallavas, later Cholas will come. By this time period, the temple grandiose, the height of the temples, the size of the temples, and the kind of wealth the temples commanded was immense. That is what the question is, how far temple architecture under Chola became more refined and grandiose as compared to early South Indian temple architecture styles. Just you need to mention about different characteristics of Chola temples. So advancements and characteristics of Chola temple architecture. Just I will give the headings, you will understand what does it mean. Scale and grandeur, the kind of size, Brideshwara temple. Refinement in Vimana, the kind of design on Vimana, different kinds of images on Vimanas. subsidiary shrines, main shrine as well as subsidiary shrines, emancipation of liberal, make conversions of king, Buddhism, Jainism, very good. Architecture reached its climax during Chola period, yes. So during this time period, now you will see UNESCO, Brihadishwara temple is UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is not only heritage of India, but entire world itself, UNESCO World Heritage Site. And that shows the kind of grandeur and size. Intricate sculptures and frescoes, different sculptures were carved out and different paintings were also painted. Construction of different mandapas, gopurams and enclosures, then emphasis on water tanks. Different water tanks were also constructed in the premise of temples. Bronze sculptures were placed in the temples. So this all shows in temple architecture style, in almost every aspect, it reached the climax stage in South India. That is what you are going to mention. Fourth C. Is it correct to say that post-Gupta period was remarkable for the expansion of religious cults? And simply it is, you have to talk about in early medieval time period, what are various religions. By Gupta time period itself, Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, they all take the shape. And in Hinduism, you will find Shaivism, Vaishnavism, Shakti cult. And in post-Mauryan time period, Theravada, Mahayana type of in Buddhism. But when it comes to post-Gupta time period, here Tantric, Vajrayana Buddhism, Tantricism is emerged. This Tantricism entered here also in Buddhism also. So that is another cult. So just you have to mention about different religious cults. Just by seeing the heading, you will come to know what are these. So different religious cults. Bhakti movement, Alvar Nainars, that is one type. Second one, now rise of Shaivism and Vaishnavism, growth of Shaktiism, then Tantricism, then growth of Jainism, particularly in Western India. Jainism, Jaina temples were also constructed like in Mount Abu, Dilwara temples in early medieval time period. Vajrayana Buddhism, when it comes to Buddhism, Vajrayana Buddhism. So growth of religious cults, local, and also different philosophical schools also emerged. So by this time period, now you see so many religious cults, guru cults also, Acharya tradition, Shankaracharya, Madhavacharya, likewise. So Acharya tradition also emerged. So many religious cults emerged by early medieval time period. So art and culture wise, one question you see, it reached the climax in early medieval time period, temple architecture, and so many religious cults by early medieval time period. Before the emergence of Delhi Sultanate, whatever the religious art and culture wise, in the ancient religions almost reached climax stage by this time period. Islam entry in South India in early yes, very good. So that point also you can use. Islam also, during lifetime of Prophet Muhammad himself, Islam reached the coast of Kerala. And there was even one mosque also, Cheraman Mosque, that is considered oldest mosque in India. And already in UPSC map pointing also it was asked. Oldest mosque in India, Cheraman Mosque. Islam also, very good. Islam also, you can include Christianity also, but they are not major forces, but still you can mention them. So this way, you can write about different religious cults. Was remarkable for the rise of religious cults in India. Is it clear? Now you see, we started with the prehistoric period and we ended with early medieval time period. In 4 questions, you have touched Mauryans, Guptas, after Guptas, Indus Valley, Vedic, then prehistory, almost every chapter. And because sub-questions are there, you have to be thorough with all the types of chapters and subtopics which are given in the UPSC syllabus. All of you clear? Shabaridasan, Sanju, Abhi, Dinesh. Today we will stop here. We have discussed up to ancient part. Medieval part we will take tomorrow. Tomorrow we will continue. Tomorrow we will continue with medieval part. By tomorrow we will finish the paper 1 discussion. Clear, all of you? Thank you. Thank you, all of you. Tomorrow we will meet with medieval India. So we will discuss in detail about medieval India tomorrow. Thank you very much.